So part of the theme this week is deloading, and so I thought I'd give you a stretching session on the mat. We'll go through all of our typical stretches, utilising a band for hamstring if you've got one, maybe some blocks for balance if you need in 4-point kneeling when we do our hip flexor stretch. We'll start with standing warm-up just to utilise the full functions of the spine. So begin with the feet hip width, the knees soft and the shoulders melted down your back. Arms by your side, let's work lateral flexion first. Take a deep breath in, remembering that pelvic floor is working. Add extra activation if you need. And on the exhale, connect to the T-zone. Take a deep breath in, expanding through the lungs. And on an exhale, we're going to allow ourselves to reach on over down the side of the thigh towards the outside of the kneecap. As we reach on up through the opposite arm and tickle the ribs into side bend. Keep the hips level. Inhale, come back to center, ribs over hips. Exhale, reach on down for lateral flexion to the outside of the knee. Push the elbow on up, tickle the ribs. Good, inhale, come back to center. So for your lateral flexion, keep your knees soft. Keep your belt line parallel. This is a side stretch from hip to rib. We're trying not to move the pelvis out of its neutral alignment. Good, to make the stretch bigger as you reach on down, exhale. You can reach on up through the elbow and then extend the arm. Keep the shoulder down. Good, inhale to center, slide the hands to the thighs. Exhale, push the elbow on up and reach. Good, inhale to center. Good. Let's do one more each side of our lateral flexion. One more, reach. You could reach over the body too into a little side bend, keeping the hip bones level. Then come back to center, ribs over hips, and relax. Good, let's roll through the neck, keeping the shoulders and the tension out of the jaw and the upper traps. Allow your T-zone to support you with soft knees. Drop the chin to the chest so you're looking down and opening the back of your neck. And then take a deep breath in. Good, float the head on upright, making sure you're floating directly over your sternum. Do that again. Chin to chest on the exhale for neck flexion. Inhale and then bring the head on upright. Good, one more. Exhale, chin to chest. Good, inhale upright. Let's do some neck rolls. Chin to chest on the exhale. Then begin to roll your ear to the shoulder blade, making sure that we're not stressing through the upper traps. This is very gentle. Then roll back to center, chin to chest, and then roll to the other side. Good, create a semicircle along your collarbone. Exhale, rolling, and inhale to center. Be very gentle if you experience any pain. Make sure you come out of the stretch and come back to just the up and down neck flexion and floating. Good, one more. Exhale, inhale, and exhale. Good, come back to center. Float yourself on upright, chin over your sternum. Take a deep breath in, lift the shoulders up towards the ears. Now I want you to draw the shoulder blades back together, coming into retraction, and then glide them down. Good, lift the shoulder on up, inhale, close the shoulders, and glide down, exhale. Go away, fly. Inhale up, close, and exhale down. Creating a lovely smooth motion, inhale and exhale. Now you'll notice I'm not letting my abdominals go. They're holding the spine in a neutral standing posture, and I'm not using any motion through my pelvis to get this mobility through the shoulders. Let's reverse it. So we're going to lift the shoulder, draw the shoulders closed, lift them up, and then round forwards and down. Good, draw the shoulders closed, exhale, lift them on up, round forwards and down, inhale. Close, up, forwards and down. Good, keep it going for 2 more. Last one, and relax through here. Beautiful. From this point, let's go through hug a tree. Soft or slightly bent knees, wrap your hands around that nice beach ball or your tree here. Take a deep breath in, keeping the T-zone working, chin drops to chest. Now on the exhale, we're going to reach forwards, pulling the fingertips from the chest, widening through the shoulders to get your thoracic back stretch. And then you inhale, bring the fingertips back towards the chest and float the chin on the sternum. Chin to chest, exhale, reach away. Now you see I'm widening through my shoulder blades, releasing the upper back to come into thoracic back stretch, and then inhaling to release. I'm keeping the pelvis floating in neutral, and if you've got got a back condition, by all means stay here. Now to make your stretch bigger, as you drop the chin to the chest and exhale to pull the fingertips away, you could gently draw the tailbone down and come into a little bit of a range of a posterior pelvic tilt, just a small one. And then you inhale, bring yourself on upright, pelvis back to neutral, float the hands to the chest, 2 more. Chin to chest, exhale, reach away, draw the tailbone down if you want to lengthen through the lumbar spine, and then inhale upright. Last one, exhale. Good, and inhale. Lovely, release the arms, float the chin upright of the sternum once more. Let's do a little bit of our hamstring stretch. Split stance, 1 foot forwards, 1 foot back. Now we're keeping knees, hips and toes facing the same direction on both legs. We're going to begin by flexing the front foot, pushing the heel down. We're going to hinge forwards, chest aligned over the thigh, and push the hips back into a hamstring seat. From the side it looks like so. If you've got hyperextension in your knee joint, you'll need to keep a little bend in the front knee. Push the bum back and down, bring the hands onto the back leg and bend at the back knee joint to come into your hamstring seat. Pushing the bum back and down, keeping the heel pushed down, the toes lifted. We're getting a good stretch on the back of the leg. Breathe in and out nice and deeply, keep the sternum lifted and gently forwards. Good. Breathe in and out nice and deeply for your hamstring seat. Excellent. Last one, in and out. Now we're going to gently bend at the front knee, place the toes down. Now I want you to bend the front knee and push back to straighten the back leg to come into a little bit of a calf stretch here. Hands on your hip bones. Look at my alignment from hip and shoulder. I've got a nice neutral spine and the alignment is a little hip hinge. So I'm not rounding my back. I'm trying to lift the sternum, push the back heel down, bending at the front knee. Deep breath in and out here. Good. Now your breath needs to be focused on deep and long throughout the session. You want to quiet the central nervous system, particularly as tissues are opening and stretching. Last breath in and out here. Good. Gently bend at the back knee and slide the feet back and in. Let's change sides. 1 foot forwards, 1 foot back, split stance. Remembering your hamstring seat begins with you flexing the front foot, pulling the toes off the mat and pushing the heel down. Keeping the front leg straight, a micro bend for hyperextenders. You're going to bend the back knee. You're going to hinge forwards, chest over the thigh and push the bum back and down. Hands are resting on the bent back leg. Look at my alignment from hip to shoulder. I'm not arching through my lower back. I'm keeping my spine within neutral. My sternum gently forwards. Deep breath in and out. The further you take the bum back and down and drive down through the front heel, the deeper the stretch on the back of the leg. Deep breath in and out. Shoulders relaxed and breathe. Your hamstring seat. Good. Last breath in and out here. We're going to bend at the front knee, place the weight of the foot down. Then we're going to shuffle, so we're going to bend the front knee over the front foot as we straighten and push the back heel down. Hands on the hips if it helps. Look at that alignment. A little hinge forwards from the hip itself, keeping the back within neutral, the sternum forwards, shoulders down. Breathe in and out nice and deeply, getting a little stretch now on your calf and your Achilles. Deep breath in and out. Try not to round the upper body. Try to keep drawing the shoulder blades down so we've got a nice long neutral spine and we're not stressing the neck or the shoulders. Last breath in and out here. We're going to push the chest on upright, bending the back knee and slide the feet back into me. Let's finish with some rolling just to prepare the spine. Now, like I mentioned, I want your breath to be quite long, lengthy, and really, really exaggerated for the session so that you're getting used to quieting the central nervous system. You're utilising the exchange of gases within the body. You're taking a lot of oxygen in and you're allowing a deep, long exhale through the nose and the mouth to allow the gaseous exchange of carbon dioxide out of the body. We are going to start with the feet hip width, just like normal for standing roll downs. Hands are relaxed on the thighs, shoulders down your back. Float your chin and your sternum for your breath in. Drop the chin to the chest, remembering we're lengthening or stretching open the back of the neck, cervical spine first. Now as you sink your ribs to your hips on the deep exhale, you're going to allow the band of abdominals to flatten as you allow your hands to run down the front of your thighs. Sink your chest line forward forwards over the belt line. Try to not push your bum back behind you. Sink forwards and down, rounding through the upper back, then rounding down through the mid-back, the lumbar spine as you roll forwards and down, having bent or soft knees if you choose. Take a breath in at the bottom here. Prepare, exhale, scoot the abdominals. Start to stack the vertebrae upright. First settle the tailbone and then start the lumbar spine, the thoracic back. Lifting, dropping the shoulders down to float that cervical spine and chin. Take a deep breath in. Drop the chin to the chest, sink, exhale, ribs to hips. Now as you roll forwards and down, by all means, limit the roll down if you find that you're quite sticky or tight within the lower back, or if you need to have bent knees. Making sure your roll down is quite long through that deep exhale. Take a deep breath in at the bottom. Pushing through the heels, exhale to scoot the abdominals. Making sure we bring the tailbone back into alignment, and then we start to unravel, floating the vertebrae from the lower back to their standing posture before we lift the sternum and drop the shoulders to float the chin. Good, let's do 2 more. Inhale at the top. Let's take it down for the count of 5. Drop the chin to the chest, that's 1. Exhale, sink the ribs forwards and down, that's 2. Sinking the head in front of the belt lines, 3. Exhale deep, head moves in front of the thighs, bend the knees if you need. Exhale, sink the crown forwards and down. Here's number 5. Take a deep breath in. Coming up for the count of 5. On the exhale, push through the heels, that's 1. Start to float the tailbone to vertical, that's 2. Sink those abdominals in to lift the lumbar spine upright, 3. Transfer up through the thoracic back and shoulders, that's 4. Draw the shoulder blades down, float the chin, that's 5. Let's do 1 more of those. A deep breath in. Chin to chest, exhale, sink. 1, 2. Keep exhaling out. 3, 4, 5. At the bottom, take a nice deep breath in. Coming up for the count of 5. Push through the heels, scoot those abdominals. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Relax the shoulders, float the chin, take a nice deep breath in. Beautiful. Let's move on down, transfer down to 4-point kneeling. We begin in 4-point kneeling with spinal segmentation. You want to make sure the T-zone is working here, and you want to move the vertebrae singly, just like you do in your pelvic curl. So you start with a nice soft breath in, then begin to scoop the abdominals as you widen through the shoulders, arching through the upper back. Let the tailbone and the chin tuck under, push against the palms to activate the arms, and come into the angry cat stretch to release the thoracic back. Take a deep breath in here. Now, utilising the T-zone, keep the upper back rounded and then begin to let the tailbone lift, tilting gently forwards through the pelvis as you round through the lumbar spine. Then roll up the vertebrae, coming to the thoracic and mid-back to release by drawing the shoulder blades down and then lifting the chin to gently look ahead. Then you've come into your gentle extension in your happy puppy. Take a deep breath in. Begin at the very crown of the head by tucking the chin under, exhale, then round by widening through the shoulders, pushing through the arms. So you're releasing the upper back first. You're trying not to let the tailbone drop down until the very last moment when you've rounded through that lumbar spine, tucking the tailbone under. Now you're back in your angry cat for a breath in. Release the tailbone first. So keep the upper back rounded. Let the tailbone gently lift on the exhale as you let the pelvis tilt forwards lightly. Then we round gently through the lumbar spine. Keep the T-zone working as you begin to draw the shoulder blades back and down and roll through the neck to float the eye line to look ahead. Good, do that one more time. Take a deep breath in. Tuck the chin. Begin to push against the palms to round through the upper back. Keep the tailbone here. Don't let it release until you've rounded through the mid-back. Then translate it through the lumbar spine. Tuck the tailbone under to come into your angry cat. Take a deep breath in. Good, then release through the tailbone one last time on the exhale. Let it float up, gently tilting forwards through the pelvis, releasing through the lumbar spine. Keep the upper back arched. Don't let it go until you release by drawing the shoulder blades back and down. Gently look ahead. Take a breath in. Then transfer back to a neutral spine. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, pull the buttocks back towards the heels. Walk the fingertips forward to stretch underneath the armpit joint. Release the forehead forward, rested on the mat. Take a deep breath in and out through the lungs and the rib cage, and allow the weight of the head to relax down as you stretch underneath the armpits and into the sides of the body. Deep breath in and out here. Good, one last breath. Gently release at the elbows, bending, drawing the hands back to face high. Take a deep breath in and out, push yourself on upright, come back to the box. So one last mobility drill here is our happy puppy. We're back in our box alignment. We've got a nice strong neutral spine. We make sure that we're not arching through the back, we're not in our angry cat. We're protracting by pushing away from the ground, drawing the shoulder blades down your back. Switching onto the T-zone. Now you're going to float one shin and the front of one foot from the mat, but both knees stay down. So take a deep breath in, decide which leg you'd like to begin, and float the shin and the foot from the mat. Keep the knee connected. We'll use this knee as our pivot point. On the exhale, we're going to rotate from the knee joint, the leg over the opposite shin. We're going to turn our eye line to look over our shoulder and our buttocks, coming into some lateral flexion to gaze at our toes and our ball of our foot. Inhale, we come back to center, and then on the exhale, we rotate from the knee joint, the foot outside the line of the box. Now you're going to want to look over the shoulder, keep drawing the shoulder blades back and down, over your buttocks to look at your heel and your ankle. Good, inhale, come back to center. Exhale, making sure that that pivot point is the knee. We look over the shoulder and the buttocks to our foot. Good, inhale to come back to center. Exhale to rotate outside of the box. Now each time you go through this rotation, internal and external, you're trying to look further over your buttocks and your shoulder to look at a deeper portion of that foot, maybe a deeper portion of the inside of the calf. You've got your happy puppy wagging its tail. Good, go for 4 or 5 rotations, making sure to breathe in and out deeply, working at looking over your buttocks each time to see that foot a little bit clearer. Then come back to the box, take a deep breath in. If you need a little rest, come down onto the bent forearms. We're going to take it to the opposite side next. So think about how much foot you saw when you bring yourself back up to the box. Work on drawing the shoulder blades back and down so we've got good protraction and the upper back is on. Switch on the T-zone. Take a deep breath in, remembering we're floating just the front of the foot and the shin from the mat, not the knee. On an exhale, we rotate the knee, turning the foot over our supporting calf. Look over your shoulder, your buttocks. You're going to have more lateral flexion than you would in standing. Good, then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, rotate the leg on outside of the line of the box. You're turning your eye line to look over your shoulder, your buttocks. Good, inhale to center. Draw the shoulder blades back and down, keep the T-zone working. We're releasing the QLs very gently through this lateral flexion, but it's a deeper motion than we would have in standing. Good, remembering we're going for 4 or 5 on each side, trying to look a little bit further into the foot each time we rotate the leg over our supporting thigh or calf, and looking further at our ankle, our heel bone, as we rotate it outside of the box. Your last one. Good, come back to the mat, place the legs down, take a deep breath in, rest the buttocks back and down on the heels, just release the forearms, cross over the arms, rest the forehead back and down, and switch off for your breath in and out here. If you're happy to rest here, beautiful. If not, you could come up into a small downward dog with lots of bent knees. In your box position, tuck your toes under, having the T-zone on, protracting by drawing the shoulder blades back and down. On an exhale, we're going to scoop those abdominals, float the knees off the mat, push the hips up. Now we're keeping bent knees here. We have our heels being drawn down to the mat, so we're getting a good calf stretch. Keeping the knees bent takes pressure off of tight hamstrings. If you like, you can straighten out the knees, but keep them bent and soft here. Push away through the arms, draw the shoulder blades down your back, keep the neck nice and free and breathe. You could pedal through the feet as well, pushing one heel down to the mat as you lift onto the ball of your foot onto the opposite leg. Have a few pedals, take a deep breath in, come back to bent knees resting on the mat, and then let's move into the next posture. Now we've transitioned to lying on our back. You can pillow underneath your head just to soften the tension off the neck and the head itself. And you're going to get yourself we've transitioned to lying supine on our back. I've popped a pillow underneath my head just to take the pressure off of my neck. I'm working in neutral spine to begin with, and I've got my feet in their hip width stance. Now I'm going to switch on to the T-zone, remembering that I'm breathing very deeply through the lungs throughout this portion, laying on my back here. With the T-zone working, we'll look at spinal segmentation and pelvic curl next. Take a deep breath in. Now you're going to begin by allowing the pelvis to tilt back. So we're tilting the pelvis back gently. We feel the lumbar spine gently release onto the mat. Squeezing your glutes, pushing into your heels. We're going to lift the pelvis off the mat first, then start to roll through the lumbar spine, exhale, rolling up gently through the thoracic back, lifting onto the shoulders. Take a deep breath in, relax those arms by your side if you can. And then on the exhale, concentrate on the ribs sinking in and down. So as our ribs come back to the mat, we're trying to release through the upper back first before the lumbar spine and the pelvis comes down. So keep squeezing the glutes to keep the buttocks lifted right until you release through the lumbar spine, and then bring the buttocks down and float the pelvis to neutral. Good, let's do 4 more. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, gently release the lumbar spine to the mat, squeezing the glutes. Pushing into the heels, exhale, lift the weight of the pelvis from the mat. Then begin to roll, exhale through the lumbar spine, through the mid-back, rolling onto the shoulders. Take a deep breath in. Now you're keeping the ribs softly drawn down. The lower back isn't arched. Keep the glutes working, and on the exhale, we bring the ribs back down first. Don't release the lumbar spine or the pelvis down until you've rolled back down slowly through the upper back and you feel each vertebrae reconnecting to the mat. Once the lumbar spine reconnects, you can place the weight of your pelvis down and inhale, float to neutral. Good, keep that going. Deep breath in and exhale, tilt the pelvis back, exhale, squeezing through the glutes. Roll through the lumbar spine, the mid-back, onto the shoulders for your breath in. Keep using your glutes. Good, then on the exhale, sink the ribs in and down. Release upper back, mid-back, lumbar spine, pelvis, inhale. Now for those of you that want to add in traction, you can. You can tilt the pelvis back, squeezing the glutes, pushing into the heels to drive the pelvis off, roll through the lower back, mid-back, come onto the shoulders, take your breath in, float your hands over your chest. Now as you reach on back into your arm prep position, keep reaching the arms away from the armpit to fingertip, then sink the ribs down. Get a nice long stretch through traction, rolling back down through the spine slowly, and then inhale, float to neutral, where you release your arms by your sides. Good, 2 more. Tilt the pelvis back, exhale. Roll slowly. Each vertebrae wants to release from the mat as you come up into pelvic curl. Inhale at the top, arms over the chest, maybe directly overhead in traction if you'd like that long stretch. Reach the fingertips from the armpit. Exhale, sink the ribs in and down. Release the upper back first. Good. As the lumbar spine comes to the mat, inhale, float to neutral, release the arms. Let's do 1 more. Exhale, tilt the pelvis back. Squeezing the glutes, utilizing the lower body to drive the pelvis, the lumbar spine, the mid-back from the mat. Take a deep breath in here. Coming into traction overhead if you wish. Reach armpit to fingertip. Now on this one, slowly release, exhale. Each vertebrae releases an extra inch you can reach from armpit to fingertip. Good, come back to the mat. Inhale to float to neutral, release the arms by your side. Good, take a little rest. Grab hold of your band, let's stretch your hamstrings. So, taking hold of the band, we're going to come into tabletop, single-legged, with the T-zone working. On the exhale, float the foot. Place the band over the sole of the foot here. Bring yourself back to tabletop, run your hands down the band and gather up your resistance as you wish. Now you want to make sure you're working within neutral spine in this position, and we want the T-zone working. Pull the elbows into the mat, draw the shoulder blades back and down, take a deep breath in. You're going to extend the leg gently forwards into the band, not directly upright. Now keeping your pelvis and your glutes on the mat. On the exhale, pulling on the end of the band, gently draw the straight leg upright, stopping before you lose the leg out to the side, a bent knee, the pelvis off the mat, twisted pelvis or any of the above. Keep lengthening the leg from the hip itself. Take a deep breath in and out here. Once you've found your range within neutral spine, we're then going to come into a deep hamstring stretch on the next exhale. Pulling on the ends of the band, exhale, pull the front of the thigh towards the chest, and it might be very minute, this movement, but it should have a deeper lengthening effect on the hamstring. Good. Keep breathing in and out deeply through the lungs, remembering that stretching is very stressful on the body, so you want to keep the circulation going. Good, deep breath in and out. Now for those of you that would like to remain here, stay here, just focus on the back of the leg opening. For those of you that want to add the footwork, we can inhale, point the toes on up towards the ceiling. Try and straighten out the front of the foot, the ankle, the shin. And then on the exhale, push the heel on up, pulling the toes down, so that you're keeping your hamstring work going, and now you're stretching your Achilles and your calf. Inhale to point, and exhale to flex. Good, inhale to point, and flex. Lovely. Inhale, and exhale. Keep the hamstring stretch going. Inhale, and exhale. 2 more. Inhale, and exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale, hold this last push of the heel on up, the flex of the foot. Soften here. Good. Have a little bend, come back to your tabletop. Good. Now you're going to place 2 ends of the band into the opposite hand. You can gather up the resistance as you wish. We want to make sure that we're utilising this to come into the side of the thigh stretch. So from this position, the same side hand as the leg that's in the band is going to drop out to the side, palm facing up. You're going to rotate the straight leg, although it doesn't have to be that straight, away from this arm. So coming back into a leg extension with a bent knee if you choose, draw the elbow into the mat, keep the shoulder back and down. You need to slide your base leg out straight onto the mat, and we want to keep the alignment of hip, knee and foot to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in and out. Keep a little bend in the knee if it helps. And on the exhale, we're gently going to lower this straight leg over the hip bone. Good. Now as we lower the leg over, we're using the arm to create some tension, so we're in safe space. We're going to turn our eye line to look at the outstretched arm on the mat. Relax the palm in the face and breathe in and out deeply. For a deeper neuroreceptive release, flex the foot of the leg that's in the band. Keep that tension on the band in the hand, elbow and shoulder into the mat. Breathe in and out deeply. Good. The side of the thigh is what you're stretching from the hip pocket itself up into the knee. Deep breath in and out. The flex of the foot adds in a little bit of the calf. Let's go for 3 deep long breaths in and out. 2. And last one. Good. Gently bend your knee that's in the band. Slide your base leg back on in, and then bring the leg directly over the pelvis back to tabletop. Bring the knee to chest, loop the band off, place the band to the side. Now you're going to slide your leg into this cross-legged position. The top thigh that you were working in the band stretch is now resting on top of that bottom thigh. Opposite hand, which held the band in the last stretch, rests on the top of the thigh. Take a deep breath in, again releasing the same side hand as that top leg onto the mat. On a deep exhale, we're gently going to use some tension through our arm to pull the side of the thigh over the body once more. Now we've got a rotation of both legs away from the chest, eye lines turning away from the chest also, and we're in this lovely supine twist. And now the stretch is up the hip joint into the side of the back. Breathe in and out nice and deeply. Use a little bit of manual pressure into that top hand, into the top thigh. Breathe in and out deeply. Your aim is to draw your thigh over the body, and it may be that the inside of the shin rests on the mat if you're particularly flexible and able in the rotation. But don't strain here. Breathe in and out deeply. Last breath in and out. Beautiful. Gently return your hips back to the mat. This top leg now is going to transition into our 4-point kneeling glute stretch. Same side hand that was outstretched. Now rest on the top leg just above the knee joint. Keeping the T-zone on and in neutral, you're going to push this knee away, keep the hips level and come into the beginning of your PNF stretch. So as you push the knee away, using up to 50% of the max strength, you want to make sure the shoulders and the chest are relaxed, breathing in and out deeply as you start to open the side of the hip pocket. Good. If this is where you'd like to remain for the stretch, just stay here. Taking the other hand onto the outside of the base supporting leg, take a deep breath in and on the exhale, concentrating on drawing the abdominals flat, draw the knee in towards the chest, utilizing a pull-in from this arm. So pull the knee on in and push the out-turned knee away. Push and pull and keep breathing for 5 long deep breaths for your PNF glute figure 4 stretch, also helping to release some sciatic tension. Good, make your breath deep and long, allowing yourself to calm the central nervous system as the tissues are stretching. Deep breath in and out. Good, last breath in and out here. Keep your push and pull active. Good, a deep breath in and out. We release the foot to the mat. We're going to uncross the legs, place the leg down, and you can repeat your sides starting with your hamstring stretch. Our next posture is seated, and if it helps you, pop a cushion underneath your buttocks or raise up your hips with a block or sit up onto a short chair, whatever helps you here. If you've got tight hamstrings or the load down on through your pelvis onto your sit bones into the mat aggravates your lower back, lifting your hips higher than your knees and feet will make that slightly easier. So in our seated posture, we'll begin with spine stretch. So we've got long legs. We don't have to have particularly straight legs for this one. If you find it hard to straighten out your legs, again, lift your hips. Keeping your chest floating, your shoulders lengthen down your back. You're going to lift your ribs upright of your pelvis, so your tailbone's in a neutral position and vertical, and you can take a nice soft breath in to lift your pelvic floor once more. Now on an exhale, we're going to utilize the abdominals, so we want the T-zone working, floating the arms directly over the shins. On an exhale, we're going to scoop the abdominals as we reach the crown, and the fingers over the toes, coming into your forward fold. Relax the tension off your neck, look into your shins for a nice deep breath in. And then on the exhale, slowly step the vertebrae upright, utilizing the abdominals to lift yourself tall. Good. Floating the arms, inhale, exhale, dive and reach. Now you're getting a stretch on the hamstrings, holding for a deep breath in, looking into the shins, take tension off the neck. And then on the exhale, utilizing the abdominals, drawing inwards, stacking yourself upright. Good, 3 more. Inhale. And on the exhale, dive a little bit further over the toes with the crown of the head and the fingers. Good. Inhale, slowly come on upright. For those of you that want to, you could press your heels together, flexing at the feet and driving the heels down. This will give you a deeper hamstring connection. Exhale. You want to concentrate on keeping your buttocks on the mat to get a longer stretch now from your heels up the lower lines of the body to the hips and into the lower back. Exhale, slowly upright. Good, inhale at the top, last one. Exhale, push the heels down, drive the heels together. Dive and reach forwards. Good, inhale, slowly come on upright. When you're tall, you can bend at the knees and take tension off the hamstrings. From this position, we're going to go into a butterfly stretch. So this is primarily for the inner thigh and the groin. You want to be very cautious with this stretch so that you don't strain any of the smaller muscles that are internal of the hip joint. For this positioning, you want to widen through your knees, place your soles together, that's your big toe and your heel. And you're holding onto your feet, your ankles, your shins, whatever you can get hold of. You want to make sure that you begin upright and that the weight of the legs helps you draw the knees downwards towards the mat. You don't have to be particularly flexible in this stretch. You can already start to feel the side of the thigh, the internal thigh starting to stretch here. Keep the chest upright and lifted, tall and neutral. Take a deep breath in. Connect to pelvic floor and abdominals to keep the back safe. Good. Now from the side, I'll show you, on your next exhale, you're going to utilize a scoop of your abdominals to draw your heels a little bit closer to your groin, and it could be just a millimetre, not even as much as I've done here. And then a slow, gentle hinge forwards at the hip joint to increase the stretch on the groin. That's all that you need. Take a deep breath in and out. For those of you that want a little bit more and that feel that you could open up the hips, you could allow gravity to drop the weight of the knees to the mat on the next exhale. Good. Keep the inhale and the exhale. Keep the feet together. Breathe in and out nice and deeply. Now again, if you felt like there was more range in this stretch for you, you simply, on your next exhale, keeping that gentle hinge forwards from the hips, the draw down of your shoulders, pull your heels towards your groin, gently opening up the knees to the side of the mat. Deep breath in and out. You could hold for 5 breaths. If this is completely uncomfortable for you and you're experiencing any pain, come out of the stretch immediately. Breathe in and out nice and deeply. Good. Deep breath in and out. Lovely. Gently release by sliding the legs forwards, allowing the knees to come back together and placing the feet back onto the mat. Beautiful. From this position, we'll do a little side stretch. I'll turn to face you once more. You can have cross-legged for this stretch, straight legs, or if you can, rotating externally through one hip joint, pressing the sole of the foot onto the inside thigh of the opposite leg. Now my leg is straight and I have a gentle flex of the foot. I want to stay upright. Again, if I need to utilize a block or a pillow to keep myself lifted in neutral spine, I can do that here. Now when I'm upright, I'm concentrating on my pelvic floor and my abdominal connection to keep me in my neutral spine, and I'm lengthening the shoulders down my back. Now some of you will already start to feel the stretch on the back of the knee and the hamstring of this leg. You can increase it with our side stretch, but don't stretch beyond the range of uncomfortable. Don't ever stretch into pain. When you're upright and tall, take a deep breath into the lungs. We're gently going to float the arms on up overhead, clasping onto the wrist or the fingers of this outside arm or bent knee arm. Take a deep breath in, shoulders up, elongating down your back. Now on your exhale, you're gently going to pull at the wrist joint or the fingers and draw the chest over the straight leg. Good. Opening up your rib to hip on one side for a deep breath in on out. Good. Then slowly exhale, bring yourself on upright. Check your shoulders are back and down for 3 more. Good. On the next exhale, pulling on the wrist joint or the fingers, gently draw the body over the straight leg. If you can, relax this knee towards the mat. Keep that gentle flex of the foot. Open up at rib to hip. Keep the shoulder away from the ear. Slowly bring yourself upright on the exhale. Inhale at the top. Exhale, reach over. Inhale deeply. Exhale, slowly coming upright. Inhale at the top, our last one. Exhale, reach on over. Inhale. And exhale, come on upright. Beautiful. Release the arms. Let's change sides. Good. So sliding the heel on in to bend at the knee joint, lengthening one leg on out. Placing the inside of the foot onto the inside of the sole. A gentle flex of the foot. Sit upright. Allow the knee to just release towards the mat in this external rotation. Keeping your T-zone working to keep you upright. The shoulders draw down. Float the arms on up. Good. Take hold of the wrist or the fingers on this outside arm or the same side arm as the bent knee. Take a deep breath in, shoulders down, and on the exhale, reach over the straight leg. Opening up rib to hip, stretching the side of the body, gentle pulling on the wrist or the fingers. Inhale here, and then exhale, bring yourself on upright. Take a deep breath in at the top, shoulders back and down. On the exhale, gently pull on the wrist or the finger joint to draw the body over the straight leg. Good. Allow this knee to relax. Deep breath in and exhale. Exhale, come upright. Good, 2 more. Inhale at the top and exhale over. Good. Inhale here and exhale upright. Now on your last one, shoulders down. On your exhale as you reach on over, release this knee towards the mat. Just let it release. Get the stretch down the side of the body from rib to hip into your hip joint. A deep breath in and out. Good. Then on the exhale, come on upright. Release the arms. Beautiful. Let's slide that heel back on in. Now for our kneeling postures, you might want to roll your mat just to create some padding for your knees, or you could use a pillow as such. You also might want to use some blocks, and if you don't have yoga blocks at home, you could use some hardback books or some small boxes. I only have 1 block myself, so I've got 1 block and 1 box. But it might be helpful for you to get your balance, or have a chair at the side just to aid you with coming on upright. So we're going to come into our box position and transition to our hip flexor stretch. Again, pop something underneath the knee if you need to. It could be a pillow or a towel. It could be just your rolled mat's edge. Have your blocks close at hand if you need it, one either side of your mat, or the chair towards your dominant side. From this position in our box, we're going to switch on the T-zone once more and bring 1 foot between the hands to come into our lunge position. So as we bring 1 foot forwards, we want to make sure that we walk the toes forwards so that the heel is roughly in line with our fingers, but our toes are definitely in front of our fingertips. Using your blocks if you need some balance aid at the sides, you can push against your blocks to bring your chest on upright, or if you don't have any blocks, you could bring 1 hand onto the top of your thigh, push against your thigh to lift your chest, push your hand into the mat and lift your chest on upright. And then add a chair to the side of you if you need more balance to keep you upright in this position. Now when you are upright, you want to check chest is directly over the hips, your knee is behind your front ankle, and if it's already at 90, you want to walk the toes forward so that you've got a slight degree of slope so you can move further into the stretch if you need to. Now we are going to be stretching the back leg front of the hip. So as we bring the ribs directly over the chest, over the hips themselves, you want to lift the sternum and draw the shoulders down, and you want to start to squeeze your back glute. Now you're squeezing the glute max of the back leg and drawing the tailbone down. If you add some little manual pressure with your hand on the tailbone, you should now start to feel the front of the hip starting to open. You might need to drop the front hip bone to keep the hips level too, so check in that your hips are not skew width. Mine are. Now keep the back glute squeezed, keep the tailbone drawn down, and start your hip flexor stretch at the very front of the hip. Good, it's not just the quad that's stretching, it's the top point of the hip itself. Good, take a deep breath in, decide if you'd like to make the stretch bigger, keep the back glute engaged, tailbone down, and on the exhale, gently lunge the weight forwards so the knee is now directly over the ankle, and we've got a 90-degree angle at the front knee. Keeping the chest upright, draw the tailbone down, squeezing the glute, and get a longer stretch now working into the psoas. If you'd like, place your front hand on the front thigh, take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, bring the same side arm as the leg that you're stretching directly over your shoulder in your arm prep position. Draw the shoulder blade down. Keep squeezing the glute, keep drawing the tailbone down to get a longer psoas stretch here. Breathe in and out nice and deeply. Hip flexor stretching can be quite intimidating because it can be quite intense. You want to make sure that you're utilizing your glute max, your T-zone connection to keep your pelvis from tilting too far forwards. Deep breath in and out. Good. Release this arm. Gently bring the weight back out of the front knee and ankle. We can transition to the opposite side from here. Grabbing your blocks or your chair if you need to. You could gently bring your chest forwards, just over your thigh. Bring your knee back, and let's exchange sides. So I'm utilizing my blocks here to make sure that I'm getting the right angle of my knee behind my foot. I'm not starting with 90, I'm starting with the knee just behind the heel itself. And then I'm going to utilize my blocks to bring my chest on upright. Now I've got pretty good balance, I don't need the blocks once I'm upright, but if you need to, have the chair close at hand. Keep the ribs aligned over the hips. From this position, shoulders back and down, start to squeeze the glute max, and you'll notice a gentle tilt back of my pelvis here as my tailbone draws down, and I'm in a small range of posterior pelvic tilt. From there, I feel that the stretch is quite intense now on the front of the hip joint, not just the quadricep. Keeping the chest upright, I can breathe. Good, deep breath in and out. Now you want to be keeping that activation on the back glute, particularly if you're moving forwards into the lunge position to get a deeper stretch. At the front of the hip joint, I'm not so concerned with the groin, so I'm keeping the knee alignment at 90. Glute squeeze, tailbone down. If you'd like, take a deep breath in, float the arm on up, reach overhead, exhale into your arm prep position, shoulder back and down. Squeeze the glute, draw the tailbone down and get a longer stretch into the psoas and breathe. Remember, at any point you can come out of this stretch. I'm only holding you here for 5 to 10 breaths. Squeeze the glute, draw the tailbone down, deep breath in and out, keep breathing. Lovely, final breath in and out. Release the arm, bring the hands onto the front of the thigh or utilize your blocks if you have it. Draw the weight back out of the front knee and front heel and come back to the mat to rest. Good. We're going to go into pigeon. You can still have the blocks by your side if you'd like a little bit more of a prop. We're going to come back to the box position. Shoulders back and down, switching on the T-zone. Now into a modified pigeon, we start by lengthening one leg on out behind us. We want to keep the hips as level as we can. We cross the leg over the supporting ankle and shin. Now we're going to start to push away from the palms, slide the leg on back. Now you're transferring your weight down to this bottom bent leg. If it's too much on the hip joint, come out of it immediately, particularly if there's pain. As you slide the leg back, if you can, bend the forearms, cross over the arms and rest the forehead down, or grab a yoga block if it helps you. Give the yoga block a little hug and rest your ear down here. If you found that you want to limit your stretch and your back knee has not yet touched the mat, bend the back knee, place it down, relax the back foot. So don't flex the foot here, just relax it. Take a deep breath in and out. As you inhale, let your upper body round forwards and relax onto your yoga block or the mat. And on the exhale, just let the weight of the body sink down to open up the hip and the side of the glute. Deep breath in and out in your pigeon stretch for 5. Now for those of you that do not like the stretch, just skip it out completely, particularly if you feel like you're dumping your weight down onto the hip joint and this passive stretch is too much for you. Deep breath in and out. Some of you may find that you can slide the leg back a little bit further after you've been relaxed in this position for a few breaths. Release in and out deeply. Lovely, last one. Bring your hands back to the mat, pushing the chest on upright, slide the block to the side and draw yourself back to the box. Taking it to the other side, we start with the T-zone on, we've drawn the shoulders back and down. We're going to lengthen the leg behind us, cross it over, slide it back. Now as we slide the leg back, remember at any point if the arms come down, you can rest the forehead down, you could bend the back knee to limit your stretch. You can have the yoga block underneath you and you can just rest the forehead down and give it a little hug. Relax that back foot and just allow the stretch to happen, breathing in and out deeply to calm the central nervous system, particularly as you're stretching the tissue around the hip joint, which can be pretty tight, particularly if we've been standing all day. Deep breath in and out, keep breathing. Every breath in, you round the upper body forwards, rest the forehead onto the mat or onto the yoga block. And on the exhale, just let the lower body sink down onto that bottom hip. Deep breath in and out, keep breathing. A full breath in and a full breath out. Lovely, let's unfold the hands, bring them back to the mat, push the chest on upright, slide the yoga block to the side and slide yourself back into the box. Take a deep breath in and out, hands are back underneath the shoulders. Now on the exhale with the T-zone active, we're going to pull the buttocks back and down as we reach the fingertips forwards into this child's prayer stretch. Have a little wiggle side to side through the upper torso, armpits to the mat if it helps you. Just release any extra tension here. Now we're going to just let the forehead rest down completely, bending at the elbow joints, slide the hands back to face height and let everything sink off and rest. If you're comfortable here, you may need to widen your knees if you want to get a little bit more comfortable through the hips. We're going to breathe in and out deeply. Now as you focus in on the breath, every inhale, expanding through the rib cage, letting the weight of the forehead rest onto the mat. Every exhale, completely release the full breath out of the rib cage and the lungs, and let yourself completely sink into your mat here. Now we're going to add some pelvic floor activation. We're going to imagine the pelvic floor has 5 layers. It's moving up an elevator shaft, and we're going to find those layers or levels as we move up. We're starting at a very small amount of activation for a level 1. Take a nice soft breath in and think about gently lifting the pelvic floor just to the first level. On an exhale, keep the activation but let the breath completely release from the body. Moving up to level 2, take a nice soft breath in. Gently lift from level 1 to level 2. And on the exhale, keep the activation, completely release the air from the body. Moving to level 3, take a nice soft breath in. Lifting a little bit higher now, from level 2 to 3, a little bit of a deeper activation. A deep exhale out. Level 4, gently lift the pelvic floor, coming up to the higher levels of your activation. Exhale a full breath out. Last level, take a deep breath in. You're lifting to the full amount of its capacity of your pelvic floor. A gentle squeeze of front and back passage. On the exhale, completely allow the pelvic floor to rest slowly through level 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a full breath in and out here. Allow any extra tension to release from the body. Let's push our chest on upright. Let's come back to the box. So for those of you that are not comfortable coming up through downward dog, by all means come up into standing through your staggered lunge. I'm going to tuck my toes under, draw my shoulder blades back and down, switching onto the T-zone. Taking a deep breath in. I'm going to exhale, use that abdominal connection to lift my knees from the mat, pushing my heels back. I'm lifting my hips high. Now I've got straight legs for this, but by all means keep a bend in the knees, particularly if the lower back is pulling. I'm pushing away to activate my arms through my palms and shoulders, but my neck is relaxed and I can give the head a nod yes and a shake no. Keep pushing the heels down through straight legs or soft knees. You can pedal through the feet if you want to release through the calves and the Achilles tendon. Deep breaths in and out, never hold your breath. Keep the neck relaxed. Good, one last breath in and out here. Come back to heels being pulled towards the mat, hips high. We're going to soften or bend through the knees. Exhale to walk your hands back towards your feet. Come into your forward fold, keep the head relaxed from the neck, take a deep breath in. Good, run the hands onto the top of the thighs. Exhale, round through the upper back, scooping through the abdominals. Start to lift yourself upright, placing your pelvis over your feet, and then realigning by lifting the vertebrae one at a time to stand tall. Good, float the sternum, relax the shoulders, take a deep breath in and out. Now that you're back to standing upright, let's just stretch the shoulder and the neck joint, and then we can finish the session. Good, from this position, keep the knees soft, keep the T-zone working and upright. Take a deep breath in, float the arm directly over the chest. Keeping the arm fairly straight, we're going to draw this straight line over the body. The opposite palm will come on in to pull the straight arm across. Relax the shoulder from the ear. Think about opening at the very back of the shoulder blade itself. Good, if it helps you, drop the chin to the chest to look down towards the elbow. Keep pulling this straight arm across. Breathe in and out nice and deeply. Think about opening at the back of the shoulder joint. Don't tense through the neck or the jaw. Good, last breath in and out. Stop pulling the arm on in, let the arm drop to the side. Good, place the hand onto the side of the head, just above the earlobe. Good, take a deep breath on in, and on an exhale, just allow the weight of the hand to topple the ear towards the inside of the shoulder. Take a deep breath in and out. Now the shoulder that you were stretching, the arm is going to reach away from the body. Activate the arm, flex at the palm and push down to get your neck stretch. Breathe in and out nice and deeply. Don't use this top hand to pull the ear towards the shoulder. Use this opposite arm line to push down to get your neck stretch. Breathe in and out nice and deeply, keeping those knees nice and soft. Good. Focus on the stretch at the side of the neck. Last breath in and out. Let's release this arm, it goes to spaghetti. Take a deep breath in. Now turn your eye line to look underneath your armpit. Place your hand onto the back of your crown. Just allow the weight of the hand to gently draw the eye line underneath the armpit here, and the chin sinks towards the collarbone. Take a deep breath in and out. Feel the back of the neck beginning to stretch. On the exhale, reach the opposite arm away. Flex the palm and push down. Always get that lovely back of the neck stretch. Don't try to increase the stretch with the top hand. Just allow the weight of the arm placed on the crown of the head to do the work. Utilize this opposite arm line. Good. Keep pushing down through that flexed palm for 2 long deep breaths in and out. Gently let that arm go to spaghetti. Place it by your side. Release the hand from the back of the crown. Roll the chin to the chest and lift the head on upright. Let's change sides. Shoulder stretch. Keep the knees soft, float the arm on up. Inhale, exhale, take that straight arm across. Opposite palm comes in and pulls the arm towards the chest, opening up the back of the shoulder. Relax the shoulder from the ears. Drop the chin to the chest to look down and breathe in and out deeply. Try to refrain from gathering tension in your neck. Keep this a shoulder stretch. Breathe in and out nice and deeply. Don't let the shoulder lift on up. Keep drawing the shoulder from the ear. Deep breath in and out. Lovely. Let's release the arm, let it drop to the side. Good. Opposite arm reaches on up. Place the fingertips just above the ear on the side of the head. A deep breath in and out. And on the exhale, we just allow the weight of the hand and the arm to tipple the ear towards the inside of the shoulder. A deep breath in and out here. Opposite arm is going to reach away. It's going to flex at the palm and push down to get the side of the neck stretch that you want. Don't use the weight of this hand to pull the ear towards the shoulder. Just allow it to rest on the head. Activate the opposite arm, push down through the flexed palm and breathe. Keep the knees soft. Don't gather tension in your lower back. Breathe in and out. Last one. Relax this arm, let it go to spaghetti. Then we're going to place the hand onto the back of the crown. We're going to turn the eye line to look underneath the shoulder itself. Keep the shoulder from lifting to the ear. Let the weight of the head begin the back of the neck stretch. Breathe in and out, keep looking under that armpit. Opposite arm once more reaches away from the body, flexes at the palm itself, and pushes down to get the back of the neck stretch. Beautiful, long, simple. Don't try to pull your head into your armpit. Just allow the weight of the hand resting on the crown itself to do the work. Good, deep breath in and out, keep the knees soft. Don't allow the pelvis to start to arch through the lumbar spine. Keep those knees soft, keep the T-zone working and breathe. One last breath in and out here. Good, let this arm go to spaghetti. Relax it by your sides. Release the hand from the back of the crown. Roll the chin to the chest and then float the head on upright. Well done, you're all done.